that.
Bob, so at this point, you got a little while before you go to Portland, but are you guys ready for this step up, do you think? You still have questions? I asked that of the players.
Well, I got a lot of questions, but I don't know. I don't know how to tell. We've got a lot of work to do. We don't rebound the ball the way you need to rebound the ball. We don't rebound it defensively the way you need to, and we don't rebound it offensively the way you need to. I thought we passed the ball better, which was an improvement. I thought we got it out in transition a little bit better than what we have been. But offensively, we weren't sharp. So we've got a lot of work to do.
The players talked about rebounding, and I mean they pointed that as well. You sort of thought that wouldn't be a problem at the beginning of the year. Is it just too early to tell, or is it a bigger problem than maybe you envisioned?
Well, some of it is they take a lot of perimeter shots. And, the ball banging off the front of the rim, perimeter shots, and we don't rebound it offensively because we bang too many off the front of the rim. We've got to do a better job. And they're taking long shots too, which generally bounce longer. So that's a little harder to gauge, I think, because of where their shots were taken from. And
you get up to a good start. You shoot well, make threes, not a lot of turnovers. What does sharp look like? We offensively we pass it better. How many do we throw out of bounds in transition, or how many do we throw to the other team when we're trying to make a hero play? Those things we got to wipe out. We can't. There's probably been at least 5 or 6 times that we've had transition 2-on-1 or sometimes 3-on-1. Instead of making the appropriate pass, we try to throw it up over the backboard so some guy can jump up and miss it. Today just once, but was it sustaining level of good play that wasn't sharp enough for you, or could have done better offensively?
We didn't execute a lot of the things that have been really good for us. I don't really want to get into that now because I'm sure Purdue'd love to read up on it, but we've got to get. I think consistency, Mike, might be the best word. We lack consistency at this point in time, and we lack consistency at the defensive end. And how many times were we standing there staring at the ball and they cut behind us for layups? That's really inexcusable.
Go ahead.
After a couple of years of having trouble shooting the ball, it has to be kind of nice not to wince every time the ball goes up. I mean, you're shooting over 50% most games now.
Yeah, I mean we have certainly several guys who can make shots, which has a tendency to spread defenses out a lot more. And just hope that they keep making them. I thought we had more than what are making shots now. We have some guys that are struggling right now.
What do you think of the bench? Maybe not number 6 and 7, but deeper. What do you think of those guys?
They're young. They're inexperienced. Probably for the majority of them, it's the first time they played in front of a crowd like that. They got a ways to go. But they work at it. They're challenged every day by the older guys, which you would hope would continue to make them grow and be better.
The shooting, and I know other people have asked about it. I mean, we've gone into other preseasons, and you've talked about, hey, we've got some guys who can make some shots, and then sometimes it just hasn't always panned out that way. This year, it's been a different story so far, and I'm just kind of wondering, has it just been, because the different guys are here, or is there anything more to it than that? Because, I mean, I can't, like Bob said, you guys are shooting over 50% through 4 games.
We made a conscious effort to recruit some guys who can make shots. I mean, we knew Eric Stevenson could make shots. He made shots against us in Mexico. Obviously, Trey's history is he can certainly make shots. Keaty's really worked at his game. Keaty's gotten much better. Keaty's very capable of making shots. Joe's really worked hard at his. Joe was pretty much a driver, and he's starting to make shots for us consistently. It's a matter of those guys putting time in, a matter of those guys continue to grow. There for a while, I mean, honestly, I thought some of our freshmen shot it better than our older guys, or freshmen, sophomores, whatever they were. But as kind of we've gone along and the competition has kind of stepped up a little bit, see, those guys that we talked about early on they're so much used to being run at, to have people flying at them, to have to get the ball off a little quicker, to have to throw it a little higher, and because they've had to play against it for quite a while. Now the freshmen don't see that. I mean, the freshmen go out there and shoot and make 5 shots in a row and think they've got it figured out. And then all of a sudden you got a big flying at you, and you've got to try to get it over top of them, or bounce it and go around them. And now you're bouncing and going around, and it's harder to shoot it off the move.
Very interested in next week, seeing how you respond when this team gets punched in the mouth. Because, I mean, you're going to face good teams that are going to make runs at you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
What do you expect to see?
I think that the guys that we talked about earlier will be consistent. I think they'll relish the opportunity to play. The thing that you wonder about is they got a guy, whatever he is, 7'2", 7'4". We haven't seen that. That's different, and it I think he affects the game in a lot of ways. He affects the game in his ability to score the ball, and he scores it over people. And I've watched him this year. I mean, it's easy for him to score it over people. He missed a shot the one game I saw, and it came off the rim, and he dunked it, and he didn't jump. I mean, and he's not just tall. He's big. He's strong. They've done a terrific job with him. Paint's done a terrific job with him.
There's not many games Jimmy's going to go into and be a smaller guy. I mean, what do you tell him in a matchup like that?
Well, there's more on the floor, Justin, than 10 players. So those other 3 guys depend on how they see the game.
Regarding responding to challenges or whatever, maybe the first 4 games didn't do it for you, but practices, and it just seems like the attitude the guys have. Is that prepared maybe as much as the games actually has?
They like each other. I mean, they really get along. Emmett's been terrific. Emmett's been our rock when it comes to communicating with guys, and he knows everybody. He's been at it a long time, and of course he and Eric grew up together. He's been really good, but they get along. We don't have we don't have the issues where, you know, one guy's afraid some guy's getting more shots than him or whatever. I mean, they generally do like each other.
How did you go this long in coaching, and this was your first game against an Ivy League team?
Well, I should have been an Ivy Leaguer probably with my intelligence. And I don't know, man. I really, is that the truth? That's the first time I've coached against an Ivy League team. It's a good thing I waited a while, huh?
Coach, that seems like a very simple thing where your players get along, but how valuable is that to a team?
Well, it's really valuable. There's a lot of teams where there's a lot of jealousy. Sometimes you just don't like guys. You know, I mean, I've had some teams where there were maybe a couple guys that just didn't like each other. And that happens. That happens in real life, and it happens in virtually any occupation. That sooner or later you're going to run into that.
Bob Perez on the bench. Obviously, Mess put out the release that he's enrolled. So, any clues to when you get to work with him?
No. Just waiting to hear.
Anything else? When you were scouting Joe Toussaint, and thinking about bringing him in here, the offensive game he's shown so far this year, were you expecting? And because obviously his numbers now are a little bit better than what he had at Iowa. So I mean, what he's doing now, is it a plus? I mean, did you have other ideas when you brought him in, or?
Well, I loved his energy, and obviously I saw Iowa play during the year, and they had 2 or 3 guys that were really, really good shooters, and 2 or 3 guys that really expected that they were the ones who were supposed to shoot. So I think his role was more push it in transition. If he can, get it at the rim, and don't take shots away from those other guys.
Maybe part of the talk then when you brought him in, hey, we can give you a chance to shoot it. I mean, not really. I mean, he came in with his family, his mother and father, great people. They like what we had to say. They like the fact that, they're New York people. They like the fact that this is a college town. They like the fact that we walk into breakfast and people stand up from the table and walk over and say, hey coach, you're doing a great job or whatever. They loved the fact that people were friendly and nice, and we tried to sell the fact that this is a really good place. This is a state that loves sports and love West Virginia University. How much differently is he playing now, though, than what he was at Iowa?
He's shooting it better. He's shooting it better, but I don't know if he's playing all that much different, Justin. I mean, I think he's become more of a point guard,
Yeah.
But playing against Keaty's helped him a lot too. He is really, really fast, but so is Keaty. So those guys going head to head, I think every day does nothing but make both of them better.